Welcome viewers, welcome to another video of CCR. In this video, we will discuss about P53, P19 ARF MDM2 interaction. In the last video, we have discussed about the structure of the tumor suppressor protein P53, its different domains, which are functional, and its post-translational modifications and their effects. So P53 is a particular protein. It is a product of tumor suppressor gene P53, and it has role in maintenance of the in arresting growth and also promoting apoptosis. In normal cell, the level of P53 is in a constant level. This is being maintained by a particular E3 ubiquitin ligase named as MDM2. This P53 particularly activates MDM2, and then MDM2 upon activation degrades P53 to get a constant level of P53 into the cell, because in a normal cell they have to grow up to a certain level and divide, and when there is any problem in the G1 to S progression, if there is any DNA damage and other events occurring, then only P53 gets activated, and it can cause the cell cycle arrest, so that the whatever damage has been caused, that can be repaired, and if the damage is beyond repair, then their cells will undergo apoptosis. So basically P53's function is to growth arrest and apoptosis, but if this type of thing will happen continuously, it is bad for a normal cell. So in normal cell it has to be in a sustained level. So to maintain the level of P53, MDM2 helps in the degradation of P53. Now suppose if the function of MDM2 gets elevated, then in the normal cell also the level of P53 will be very much low, and it will be so much low that it can bypass the damaged cell to undergo the progression of the cell cycle. Therefore, the faulty cells can undergo cell division, and the genomic instability may occur, which will be accumulated and ultimately can change a normal cell into a transformed cell, and which will lead to oncogenesis. Therefore, MDM2 in the form of degrading P53 acts as an oncogene in transformed cell. Now coming to another level of regulation of these two interaction mediated by P19 ARF. This P19 ARF, it interacts in stabilizing of P53. The main key control of blocking of a normal cell to change into a transformed cell is to increase the stability of P53. Since P53's half-life is very less, if we increase the stability of P53, then what will happen? P53 may perform its function much better way for a longer duration, and it can halt the cell cycle progression. Therefore, P19 ARF, it can increase the P53 stabilization by interacting with MDM2 and blocks its function. By blocking MDM2, it indirectly increases the stability of P53, and thus it can act as a tumor suppressor gene. So let's discuss in detail. So here, as we in a flow chart, it is explained that ARF, it is basically blocking the loop structure of function of P53 and MDM2. Here in the flowchart, it has been shown that P53, upon getting activated, causes activation of MDM2, while MDM2, which is a E3 ubiquitin ligase, causes degradation of P53. Upon degradation of P53, the level of P53 in a normal cell remains constant. So this is a negative feedback loop. ARF, on the other hand, blocks this entire feedback loop. Now there might be one question coming, that what happens if in normal cell ARF is hyper expressive? In that case, MDM2 will not occur, it will not stay that much. As a result, the apoptosis would be triggered. So for this, to remove this confusion, we must know that ARF normally does not function that much. It is also functions in response to stress and other instabilities occurred within a cell. Whenever there is any instability or stress, in response to that, ARF will activate, because it has to activate another stress responsive protein, which is P53. Therefore, the downstream activity of ARF is to cause apoptosis and growth arrest to the cells, which may have gone some damages in due the cell cycle events. So what is ARF? ARF is alternative reading frame protein, which is encoded by the alternative reading frame of the CDK2N2A locus, which is one of the most frequently mutated site in human cancers after P53 locus. Now, MDM2 is an E3 ubiquitin ligase that ubiquitinates the P53 through its ring, which is really interesting new gene domain common to many E3 ubiquitin ligases. And this is P53, also known as TP53 or tumor protein. This is its enzyme identification, and it is a gene that codes for a protein that regulates cell cycle and hence functions as tumor suppressor. It is very important for cells in multicellular organisms to suppress cancer. Now, ARF by MDM2 binding, it inhibits its ubiquitin ligase activity. So first thing we should remember, in order to be a degradation of P53 needs to be relocalized from nucleus to cytoplasm. Now, these for relocalization of P53 from nucleus to cytoplasm, it needs to be tagged or bound with a ubiquitin protein, and thus by binding with ubiquitin protein, P53 gets modification. This modification allows P53 to relocalize from nucleus to cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, MDM2 can cause ubiquitin mediated degradation of P53 in the cytoplasm. When this ubiquitination, in addition to targeting P53 to the proteasome for degradation, also prevents the formation of P53 tetramers, thus inducing the exposure of P53 nuclear export signals and its relocalization to the cytoplasm. So thus, when P53s comes from nucleus to cytoplasm, then on it, MDM2 can act and it can cause its degradation by giving signal to the ubiquitin proteasome degradation molecules. Now, the thing is how ARF is blocking this interaction. In order to block this interaction, there is a change in the localization of MDM2 P53 complex. So initial evidence reported that ARF is able to block the nuclear cytoplasm shuttling of MDM2 P53 complex. ARF is predominantly located in the nucleolus, and the co-expression of ARF together with P53 and MDM2 blocks the export of both P53 and MDM2 to the cytoplasm. Now, ARF, it gets relocalized from nucleolus to nucleus. Once ARF is coming from nucleolus to nucleus, and also in some portions of the nucleus, which is called nuclear bodies, it causes the binding of P53 with ARF, which increase the P53 stabilization. So in normal condition, ARF remains in the nucleolus. Upon activation, ARF changes its location from nucleolus to nucleus. Once it is coming from nucleolus to nucleus, it does not allow P53 to bind with ubiquitin. Thus, P53 is not getting modified and it is not coming to the cytoplasm. On the other hand, ARF is also sequestering MDM2 within nucleus. So MDM2 is not coming from nucleolus to cytoplasm. As a result, p53 MDM2 complex both cannot come from nucleus to cytoplasm. As a result, p53 itself gets very much stabilized and stay within nucleus only, and if it is within the nucleus, it cannot be degraded by MDM2. So that is important. So if you see the protein-protein interaction between ARF and MDM2, you can see a cryptic nucleolar localization signal present in the C-terminal region of MDM2. So what happens when MDM2 binds with ARF? ARF causes exposure of this nucleolus localization signal and causes MDM2 to be localized within the nucleolus. So once ARF2 works in two way. In one way, within nucleolus, it causes arresting of MDM2 within nucleolus and thus not allowing MDM2 to come from nucleolus to cytoplasm. On the other hand, when ARF2 is itself coming from nucleolus to nucleus, it causes binding with p53, causing the ubiquitin not to bind on p53. As a result, p53 is not getting modified, which is needed for its localization from nucleus to cytoplasm. As a result, p53 cannot move from nucleus to cytoplasm, and it is not being interacted with MDM2 and it is not being degraded. So this is very much important, that relocalization of ARF MDM2 complex in the nucleolus prevents binding of p53 with MDM2, and therefore the export to the cytoplasm is also blocked. Thus we can understand p19 ARF, it causes MDM2 blocking of MDM2 function and also stabilization of p53 and acts as a tumor suppressor protein. Thank you so much for attending my video. In the next video, we will give much more interesting events that occur in the regulation of cell cycle. Keep supporting CCR.